The ultimatum. Commander Sarah Takeda stared at the massive holographic display dominating the United Earth Defense Force Command Center. 6 hours ago, Earth's orbital sensors had detected nothing unusual. Now, 3 colossal vessels hung in Earth's orbit, each one easily dwarfing the International Space Station. Their sleek, silver-blue hulls seemed to shimmer with an inner light, defying conventional physics as they maintained perfect formation despite Earth's gravitational pull. Still no response to hailing attempts, reported Lieutenant Commander Jackson, his fingers dancing across the neural interface of his workstation. They're receiving our transmissions. We can confirm that much, but they're choosing not to answer. Takeda's jaw tightened. 22 years in the UEDF had taught her that silence was rarely benevolent. Keep broadcasting on all frequencies. I want to know the moment they respond. The alien vessels had appeared without warning over the Arctic Circle before repositioning themselves in a perfect equilateral triangle around Earth's equator. Their arrival had triggered unprecedented global military mobilization, but everyone involved knew the hard truth. If these visitors harbored hostile intent, Earth's defenses would prove woefully inadequate. Commander, Jackson's voice cracked with tension. They're broadcasting. Before Takeda could respond, every screen in the command center flickered and transformed. The tactical displays vanish, replaced by the image of a being unlike anything humans had encountered before. The creature possessed a vaguely humanoid shape with iridescent, scale-like skin that shifted between deep purple and electric blue. 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern studied them with unnerving intelligence. People of Earth, the being spoke in flawless English, its voice simultaneously transmitted across every electronic device on the planet. I am Grand Arbiter Solix of the Galactic Council. Your world has been monitored since your species first harnessed nuclear energy. The time has come for formal introduction. Takeda felt her heart racing, but maintained her composure. First contact, the moment humanity had speculated about for centuries, was happening on her watch. Your civilization has been classified as a Tier 3 developing species, continued Solix. According to Galactic Statute 5782, all Tier 3 worlds must provide annual tribute of 20% of their planetary resources to maintain their independent status. Failure to comply will result in immediate resource extraction by force. The command center erupted in shocked murmurs. This is not negotiable, the alien continued. You have 30 Earth days to prepare your initial tribute. Detailed specifications follow. The screen filled with scrolling lists of minerals, rare elements, water volumes, and biological specimens, quantities that would cripple Earth's economy and ecosystem. To demonstrate our resolve, observe. The feed shifted to a real-time view of the lunar surface. A beam of concentrated energy lanced from the nearest vessel, striking the moon's surface. When the light faded, a perfect circular crater 6 kilometers wide remained where a mountain range had stood. 30 days, repeated Solix. The Galactic Council awaits your compliance. The transmission ended, leaving the command center in stunned silence. Within hours, the United Nations Security Council convened an emergency session. Commander Takeda found herself briefing world leaders alongside Dr. Elena Volkov, Earth's foremost xenobiologist, and Dr. Raj Patel, a quantum physicist specializing in theoretical propulsion systems. The technology gap is substantial, Takeda reported, projecting images of the alien vessels. Initial scans suggest their hulls incorporate elements unknown to our periodic table. Their energy signatures exceed our most advanced nuclear reactors by a factor of at least 1,000. So we simply surrender, demanded the Russian representative, his face flushed with anger. Hand over 1/5 of our planet's resources to these cosmic highwaymen. Dr. Volkov stepped forward. There's something unusual about this demand. I've been analyzing their transmission patterns and behavioral cues. Their approach seems formulaic. Explain, prompted the Chinese ambassador. The Galactic Council appears to operate on a rigid classification system, Volkov continued. Their reference to us as Tier 3 suggests they've encountered many civilizations at our development level. Their demands follow an established protocol. So they're experienced conquerors, the French representative said bitterly. How does this help us? It means they're predictable. Dr. Patel interjected, adjusting his glasses. Systems that haven't needed to adapt in centuries often develop blind spots. Standardization creates vulnerabilities. Commander Takeda nodded. We need more data. I propose we appear to comply while gathering intelligence on their technology and operational patterns. The Security Council reluctantly agreed. For the next week, smaller scout ships descended from the mother vessels, taking samples from oceans, forests, and mines as they cataloged Earth's resources. Military forces worldwide were ordered not to engage but to observe and gather data on alien technology. Commander Takeda established a special analysis team working alongside Dr. Volkov and Dr. Patel in a secure facility beneath Geneva. On day 9 after first contact, they made their first breakthrough. Look at these energy signatures. Dr. Patel pointed to waveforms on his screen. Every system on their ships, propulsion, shields, weapons, operates on harmonized frequency patterns. Efficient engineering, noted Takeda. Too efficient, Dr. Patel replied. It's like they haven't needed to innovate in millennia. Why improve what already works against less advanced species? Dr. Volkov nodded excitedly. Their communication patterns support this theory. Their language contains no terms for technological failure when dealing with Tier 3 worlds. No contingency protocols. They'd grown complacent, Takeda realized, like an empire that hasn't faced meaningful resistance in centuries. As the deadline approached, analysis of the scout ships revealed microscopic gaps in their shield harmonics, millisecond intervals during recalibration cycles where their defenses were momentarily vulnerable. With just 14 days remaining, Takeda presented their findings to the Security Council. Their shields operate on predictable patterns, she explained, displaying the data. There are nanosecond intervals where recalibration occurs, gaps we might exploit. With what weapons? Demanded the American representative. You just said their technology is centuries beyond ours. Sometimes the simplest approach works best, Takeda replied. We don't need to match their technology. We need to disrupt it at precisely the right moment. The plan that formed over the next days was audacious, desperate, and relied on timing accurate to the millisecond. It would require global cooperation on an unprecedented scale and the coordination of every satellite and ground-based transmission system on Earth. 10 days before the deadline, smaller alien craft began constructing collection platforms in Earth's orbit, massive structures designed to receive and process the demanded tribute. 7 days before the deadline, Solix transmitted again. Your preparations appear insufficient. Accelerate your compliance. 3 days before the deadline, the Security Council formally voted. The decision was unanimous. Commander Takeda stood before her team in the hardened bunker beneath Geneva. The resolution passed. Operation Defiance is a go. Dr. Patel looked up from his calculations. This is madness, you realize. Takeda nodded grimly. Sometimes madness is the only rational response. The alternative is becoming their resource farm forever, Dr. Volkov said quietly. For the next 2 days, they worked without rest. Military forces worldwide prepared in secret. Civilian communication networks were subtly repurposed. Power grids were reinforced and reconfigured. 1 day before the deadline, Grand Arbiter Solix transmitted a final warning. Your tribute preparations are inadequate. You will receive one demonstration of the consequences of defiance. A beam of light lanced down from the nearest vessel, striking an uninhabited island in the Pacific. When the light faded, nothing remained but a smooth crater of glass. That night, as Commander Takeda tried and failed to sleep, she received an unexpected visitor. UN Secretary General Amara Okafor stood at her door, her usually dignified face lined with exhaustion. I wanted to tell you, she said quietly, that whatever happens tomorrow, you've done everything possible. If we fail, Takeda began. We won't fail, Okafor interrupted firmly. We can't. The Secretary General handed her a small device, an old-fashioned physical button enclosed in a clear case. The Security Council agreed. The honor is yours, Commander. Takeda stared at it, understanding the symbolism. Tomorrow, with this simple mechanical device, she would either save Earth or condemn it. Get some rest, Commander, Okafor said. Tomorrow, humanity makes its stand. As dawn broke over Geneva, Takeda took her position in the command center. Around the world, billions watched their screens where a countdown timer ticked away the final hours before the tribute deadline. 5 hours remaining, and the motherships began powering up their collection systems. Massive energy signatures were detected as they prepared to receive Earth's tribute. 3 hours remaining, and smaller craft positioned themselves around the planet, ready to begin resource extraction. 1 hour remaining, and Takeda gave the order. Initiate Operation Defiance. Across the planet, power grids surged as every transmission system, military and civilian, prepared to broadcast on precisely the same frequency. 30 minutes remaining, and Grand Arbiter Solix appeared on screens worldwide. Your time expires soon. Where is our tribute? Commander Takeda stood, facing the transmission. We have prepared something special for the Galactic Council. She raised the button, her finger hovering above it as humanity collectively held its breath. Humanity, she said, does not pay tribute. She pressed the button. Humanity's answer. The button clicked beneath Commander Takeda's finger, deceptively simple for a device that might determine humanity's fate. Around the world, on a precisely calculated schedule, every broadcasting system activated simultaneously. Radio telescopes, military radar installations, commercial satellite networks, cell towers, and even civilian ham radios, all transmitting on the exact same frequency, calibrated to match the fundamental harmonic of the alien shields. Maximum power, Takeda ordered, her voice steady despite the stakes. All stations report. One by one, control centers around the globe confirmed full transmission strength. On the monitors, energy readings from the alien vessels fluctuated wildly as their shield systems struggled to compensate for the unexpected bombardment. Dr. Patel watched the readings with intense concentration. It's working, he whispered. Their shields are attempting to recalibrate against what they perceive as environmental interference. The plan wasn't to overcome the aliens' superior technology with brute force. That would be impossible. Instead, they were exploiting the predictable patterns in the shield systems, forcing them into increasingly rapid recalibration cycles that would eventually synchronize. On the main view screen, Grand Arbiter Solix's image flickered with interference. What is the meaning of this? The alien demanded, its normally smooth voice distorting. Cease this transmission immediately or face. The transmission cut off abruptly as the first phase of Operation Defiance took effect. The alien vessel's communication systems, operating on the same harmonic principles as their shields, were now experiencing the same disruption. Phase 2, commanded Takeda. Dr. Volkov activated a secondary system, initiating targeted frequency modulation. Now came the truly audacious part of the plan. Rather than maintaining a steady broadcast, Earth's transmission systems began shifting their frequencies in a precise pattern, a pattern calculated to drive the alien shields into a cascading failure loop. For several tense minutes, nothing seemed to happen. The alien vessels maintained their positions, though their energy signatures continued to fluctuate erratically. They're adapting, warned Lieutenant Commander Jackson, monitoring the sensor readings. Shield harmonics are stabilizing. Takeda had anticipated this. Execute Phase 3. Around the world, military satellites that had been quietly repositioned over the past weeks activated specialized EMP devices, not aimed at the alien vessels themselves, but at precise points in Earth's magnetosphere. The resulting electromagnetic pulses rode the planet's natural field lines, creating a complex web of interference that approached the alien vessels from multiple vectors simultaneously. On the monitors, the energy signatures from the alien shields spiked chaotically. "We've created a resonance cascade," Dr. Patil announced, his voice tight with excitement and fear. "Their shields are being forced to recalibrate faster than their systems can handle." The effect became visible to the naked eye. Shimmering waves of energy rippled across the hulls of the alien vessels as their shield systems struggled to maintain coherence under the barrage of precisely targeted electromagnetic interference. Suddenly, the smallest of the three vessels lurched in its orbit, its positioning thrusters firing erratically. "We've broken through," exclaimed Dr. Volkov. The vessel's shields had failed completely, leaving its control systems vulnerable to the electromagnetic interference. The other two ships were showing similar signs of distress, their once perfect formation now disrupted as they drifted slightly from their assigned positions. The command center erupted in cheers, but Takeda raised a hand for silence. "We've only completed the first objective," she reminded them. "Prepare for potential retaliation." As if summoned by her words, energy readings from the largest vessel spiked dramatically. "They're charging weapons," shouted Jackson. Before the aliens could fire, a new transmission cut across all channels. The face that appeared wasn't Solix, but another member of the same species, this one with paler scales and an elaborate headdress that suggested higher rank. "This is Supreme Director Zalara of the Galactic Council," the alien announced. "Cease your attack immediately." "We wish to." Parley. Takeda exchanged glances with Secretary General Okafor, who had joined her in the command center for this critical moment. The plan had accounted for multiple alien responses, but immediate capitulation wasn't among the most likely scenarios. "Maintain the interference pattern," Takeda ordered. "But reduce intensity by 30%. Show them we're listening, but still capable of resuming full attack." Okafor stepped forward to address the alien leader. "This is Secretary General Amara Okafor of the United Nations. We are prepared to discuss terms, but Earth will not be paying tribute to the Galactic Council or any other interstellar authority." The alien's four eyes narrowed. "You defy the natural order. Tier 3 civilizations lack the technological advancement to resist the Council. Perhaps your classification system needs revision," replied Okafor calmly. "We may not match your technological level, but we've demonstrated that technology isn't everything." For several long moments, the alien leader seemed to consider this. Finally, Supreme Director Zalara spoke again. "The Council has existed for 12,000 of your years. In that time, no Tier 3 world has ever successfully resisted tribute collection. Then perhaps it's time for new protocols," suggested Okafor. Another long pause. "We will withdraw our vessels to a distance of 1 million kilometers and deactivate our weapon systems as a gesture of good faith. In return, you will cease your disruptive transmissions." Takeda glanced at Dr. Patil, who nodded slightly. At that distance, the aliens would pose no immediate threat, but could still communicate effectively. "Agreed," said Okafor. "But the collection platforms must be dismantled as well." "They will be repurposed as neutral communication relays," countered Zalara. "We have much to discuss." As the alien vessels began their retreat, the tension in the command center gradually eased. They weren't out of danger yet, but humanity had done the impossible, forced one of the galaxy's dominant powers to the negotiating table. "I want to know everything about the Galactic Council," Takeda told Dr. Volkov. "Their political structure, member species, territory, anything that might give us leverage in these negotiations." "Already working on it," replied the xenobiologist. "Their transmission protocols contain embedded metadata. It's like getting a glimpse of their filing system and their meticulous record keepers." Over the next 48 hours, as diplomatic channels were established, a clearer picture emerged of humanity's new interstellar context. The Galactic Council wasn't a single unified government, but rather a coalition of 17 advanced species who collectively administered over 8,000 worlds in the Milky Way galaxy. Most of these worlds were classified as Tier 3 or below, developing civilizations that paid tribute in exchange for protection and limited technological assistance. Only a handful of species had achieved Tier 2 status, with representation but limited voting rights in council affairs. The 17 founding species alone held Tier 1 status, with full voting privileges. "It's a protection racket on a galactic scale," observed Dr. Volkov during a briefing session. "They've created a self-perpetuating system where advancement beyond Tier 3 is nearly impossible due to the resource drain of tribute payments." What made Earth's resistance particularly significant was its timing. According to the data they'd extracted, the Council was facing internal challenges. 2 of the Tier 2 species were pushing for elevation to full membership, threatening the comfortable balance of power among the founding 17. "They can't afford to look weak right now," Takeda explained to the Security Council. "Our defiance coincides with a political crisis within their structure." On the 3rd day after the standoff, a formal negotiation session was scheduled. The venue was itself a demonstration of the new reality. A virtual conference linking Earth's leaders with the Supreme Director and Council representatives, facilitated by quantum entanglement communicators provided by the aliens. Supreme Director Zilara began with an unexpected announcement. "After consultation with the full Council, we have reassessed Earth's classification. Your technological ingenuity, despite material limitations, warrants recategorization as a Tier 2 civilization, effective immediately." Secretary General Okafor maintained a diplomatic facade, but everyone in the Earth delegation recognized this for what it was, a face-saving concession that fundamentally altered humanity's position. "We appreciate the recognition," Okafor replied carefully. "However, Earth requires assurances regarding our sovereignty and resource independence." What followed was 12 hours of intensive negotiation. The Council representatives consistently underestimated the human negotiators, revealing their deeply ingrained prejudice against younger species. Earth's delegation exploited this bias expertly, conceding minor points while securing major victories on issues of sovereignty and technological exchange. By the end, a framework agreement had been established. Earth would join the Galactic Council as its newest Tier 2 member, exempt from tribute but responsible for self-defense and limited contributions to collective security operations. In exchange, humanity would receive access to educational databases on non-military technologies and limited trading rights with other Council worlds. As the negotiations concluded, Supreme Director Zilara addressed Commander Takeda directly. "Your defensive strategy was unprecedented. The Council's Security Directorate would benefit from understanding how a Tier 3, forgive me, Tier 2, world devise such an effective countermeasure." Takeda smiled diplomatically. "Perhaps in time, Director. For now, I believe we both have much to learn about each other." After the transmission ended, Dr. Patel turned to Takeda with a bemused expression. "They still don't understand, do they? They think we developed some advanced technology in secret." "Let them think that," she replied. "The truth might be more disturbing to them." The truth was that humanity had prevailed not through technological superiority, but through adaptability and innovation, qualities the Council species had gradually lost during their thousands of years of unchallenged dominance. They had become so accustomed to their technological advantage that they'd forgotten how dangerous a creative, cornered species could be. In the weeks that followed, humanity began its integration into the wider galactic community. The first human delegation departed for Centauri Station, the nearest Council diplomatic hub, aboard a transport vessel provided as part of the agreement. Commander Takeda, Dr. Volkov, and Dr. Patel were among those selected to represent Earth's interests. As their shuttle approached the massive alien vessel that would transport them to Centauri Station, Dr. Volkov gazed out at the stars with a thoughtful expression. "Something on your mind?" asked Takeda. "Just thinking about history," replied the xenobiologist. "How many times has a technologically superior power underestimated a supposedly primitive civilization? The Romans in Germania, European colonizers in Africa and Asia, and now the Galactic Council on Earth. The difference is, we turned the tide before they could establish control, noted Dr. Patel. Commander Takeda nodded. And now we have the opportunity to ensure they never make that mistake again, with us or any other emerging civilization. As they docked with the Council vessel, Takeda allowed herself a moment of reflection. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged not just surviving, but with a seat at the galactic table. The path ahead would be challenging, navigating the complex politics of species thousands of years more advanced. But humanity had proven its most valuable quality: the ability to overcome seemingly impossible odds through cooperation, innovation, and sheer determination. The Galactic Council had demanded Earth's tribute. What they received instead was humanity's defiance, and a powerful lesson about underestimating the newest member of their cosmic community.